Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 11 of the 2019-2020 Premier League season. Now before we get started on those predictions, let's do what we usually do and have a look back at how well we got on last week in week 10.
So last week I had a pretty decent week. I got 9 points with 2 perfect results, that being Man City to correctly beat Aston Villa 3-0 and West Ham to draw 1-1 with Sheffield United. So a pretty good week there.
Yeah, I was 1 point behind you, Nathan, but like you, I had 2 perfect scores. Again, the West Ham draw with Sheffield United at home, and also the Liverpool victory over Spurs, which ended up 2-1. Representing the viewers last week was Brad Cowell, and Brad came away with 10 points, which is, I think that's the first time a viewer has beaten both of us in the same game week. So overall now, Nathan, for the season, you're on 75 points. I'm also on 75 points, so we're neck and neck. And the viewers are on 69 points, so it's getting quite tight there in our little league table. Top scorer for the week, though, with a magnificent score of 17 points.
That's amazing.
Which were fantastic. 5 perfect scores was Andrew Vale. Yeah, 17 points. I think that's one of the highest scores we've ever had as well. 5 perfect scores, magnificent. For those of you who are playing along with the Fantasy Football League, I'm going to leave the top 10 table to the end of the video, and I'll probably put in the top scorer as well for game week 10. But let's kick off. Get into these predictions for week 11.
Okay, so first up we have the midday kickoff on BT, and that is between Bournemouth and Man United. Man United, yes, they did beat Norwich 3-1 last time around at Carrow Road, of course, but if you look at their away record recently, lost to Newcastle away, which I don't even understand that one. Lost to West Ham away as well, and looking at other results as well, they only drew 1-1 to Arsenal, and you know how bad Arsenal are away as well, so really not good for them. And Bournemouth getting another 0-0 result, not having scored in 4 games now, which really Bournemouth needs to start scoring, and I think they will, just because of the way Man United have been playing away recently. I think it's going to be a narrow 2-1 victory to the Cherries at home on live on TV.
That's a bit of a surprise, that is.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, though, Manchester United found themselves in 7th position at the moment.
I don't understand how.
We touched on it, that Bournemouth now, I think they've gone 4 games without a victory. Or 3 or 4 matches without scoring as well. Like you, I think Bournemouth will score in this one. Manchester United's away form isn't the best. Okay, they won last week against Norwich, you've already touched on. Yes, but in this one I'm going to go for a draw, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline.
Interesting. Next
up, we got the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday, and that's between Arsenal against Wolves. Wolves drawing away last weekend against Newcastle. Arsenal drawing at home when they should have won. VAR sticking in the game. Absolutely pathetic decision how that goal was ruled out at the end. People are like, no, it was a trick. Absolutely pathetic. You can touch each other in the box. It is a contact sport as long as it's not a foul, and it wasn't a foul. So VAR, pathetic. Although VAR did rule that Zaha was fouled and the yellow card was overturned, so thumbs up for VAR on that one, thumbs down for ruining the end of the game for Arsenal fans. Anyway, I don't care if Arsenal get relegated this season, but what I don't like is VAR messing up things like that.
Totally agree.
But in this game, Arsenal really good at home. Wolves, okay away-ish, you could say, turning their season around a little bit now, but I think Arsenal are going to be too strong for Wolves at home. They are resting players this evening as well in the Carabao Cup, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 scoreline.
I disagree with you. I'm going to be very bold here, and since the performance on ever since the performance last weekend, and with all the antics that went on after the match, of course, Xhaka saying stuff to the fans, throwing his armband off and the shirt as well. Arsenal Fan TV, I understand they were, let's just say, a bit hyper. I think DT had his hat thrown or something, which was funny. Go watch it, guys. It's just something else. Last week, especially against Palace. Wolves doing alright. I actually think they're going to start to pick up a lot now. Currently in 12th place, they're going to keep going up the table, and just just the way with Arsenal at the moment. I think they're going to lose, and I think they're going to lose 2-1 at home, which is quite a bold move for anyone, quite a risk, but I'm willing to take it this week.
Interesting.
Next up, we got Villa versus Liverpool. Now, Liverpool won again last week. They're up to 9 wins now, no losses. Of course, they beat Spurs 2-1. Very lucky to come back there. I don't know what happened to Spurs at the end. They just self-destructed, really. Villa losing 3-0 against Man City, but then again, that's Man City. They're going to go on, I reckon, a 29-game unbeaten streak now.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Pep's going to get them fired up. More issues with the Man City defence. Angelino going off last night. On comes John Stones. So they've got more defensive issues there. I think they're going to need to sign a few more centre-backs in January because they just seem to have an endless pit of money there. But Liverpool, they just got to win, I think. 3-0. Man City beat them 3-0. I think Liverpool will also beat them 3-0.
Yeah, I think Liverpool is going to score 3 goals as well. However, I think Villa will get on the score sheet. They have been scoring well this weekend. This season, I think I touched on last week. They've scored, I think, the most in the bottom 10, which they still have. They've scored 15 goals in their 10 fixtures so far. I think they will score against Liverpool, but Liverpool just going to have too much for them. Yeah. Liverpool have arrested the likes of Salah, Mane and Firmino this evening against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, and Liverpool are actually 1-0 up in
currently
that fixture. At time recording, which is 10-8 at the moment. 3-1 away victory to Liverpool for me in this one. Next up, we got Brighton against Norwich. Now, Brighton last weekend narrowly winning 3-2 in the end against Everton. Right at the death in that one, so Everton would have been gutted with that result. Norwich losing at home against Manchester United, and Manchester United having terrible form on the road. In this one, though, I think Brighton have got a little bit about them at the moment. Up front, who's the guy? Connolly, I think, is scoring or assisting up there, so he's playing well. And I think they're going to have a narrow victory over Norwich. Norwich will probably target this one. Think they're going to get something out of the game, but I don't think they will. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to the Seagulls.
I think Norwich will get something out of this game. I think it's going to be 1-1. Likes of that, Connolly, Glenn Murray, Neil Maupay, all doing well for Brighton, especially this season. Much better than I expected them to do. Playing some nice football, unfortunately, under Graham Potter, I should say. Norwich, awful at the moment, and it's really hard to predict this one because anything could happen on the day. I reckon it'll be another VAR catastrophe, and I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. Next up, we have Manchester City playing atrocious Southampton. Now 9-0. Wow, what are Leicester, honestly? But then again, saying that, Southampton looked, I don't know, as energetic as a dead squirrel in that game. They literally did nothing. No fight at all, no spirit. How is Hasenhüttl still in a job? How have they not fined Southampton a week's wages for a disgusting performance like that?
I think they did. All the players they did actually have their week's wages taken off them, whether that was, I don't know where that money went to charity or something.
I hear that they donated it to charity. Yeah, and so they should after performing like that. But they're coming up against Man City, which after losing 9-0 is probably the last team they want to come up against. And I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I don't think it'll be 9-0, but I think it's going to be 6-0. Man City did beat them last night, but I'm going bold here, and I just reckon they're going to just demolish them again. So 6-0.
Yeah, you can't see past Manchester City victory in this one. I'm going to go 4-0 in this one. I think Southampton, hopefully they're going to learn something from that complete abomination against Leicester City on Friday evening. But straightforward 4-0 to Man City, and I probably think Jesus will start up front, even though Aguero did last night.
I think Jesus will play, to be honest.
Okay, next up we got Sheffield United against Burnley. Now, Sheffield United doing very well at the moment, 8th position. Burnley down in 13th position. Burnley last week lost at home against a rampant, you could say, Chelsea team, and Sheffield United going away to West Ham and are carving out a 1-1 draw. So Sheffield United got an excellent defence. So
with the overlapping centre backs, of course,
they have, weird sort of style of play there. But Sheffield United, I think they're going to keep a clean sheet at home. Will they be able to score enough?
Depends,
I think
really.
so. I think they're going to get the odd goal, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to the Blades in this.
I've gone for a 1-0 victory as well. Burnley, traditionally bad away. I think those issues are going to continue. Mind Sheffield United are unbeaten away this season. Not the same really at home, but I don't know. I just fancy Sheffield United coming up against a team who are much lower than who are much lower in the table than them, and I can actually see them taking all 3 points in this one. Probably unfortunately a McBurney or a Lundstram goal, so 1-0 to Sheffield United. Next up we have West Ham versus Newcastle. Now Newcastle starting to in 17th position, doing okay, much better than I expected anyway. They did draw one last time around, 1-1 with Wolves. They could have very easily won that game until Wolves did come back in the end.
They had a good second half last weekend. Yeah.
They really did turn it round. West Ham, 10th position, inconsistent form, drawing 1-1 to Sheffield United, of course. This is very difficult to predict, but Newcastle, I don't think they're going to do well away at the London Stadium. West Ham's really turned it into a fortress now. Can see probably Haller scoring 2 goals, maybe Felipe Anderson sneaking one in as well, keeping a clean sheet, and I can see it being 2-0 to the Hammers.
Interesting. Yeah, I can't see Haller scoring
really
many goals. Maybe Yarmolenko. He is in my fantasy team. Yeah, I'm going to go for a West Ham victory in this one. Newcastle, inconsistent at the moment. They do pick up the odd victory here and there, but I think West Ham's flair that they've got in their side at the moment, at home on a Saturday, they've sort of slipped down slightly down the table, haven't won for 5 matches, so they really need a victory, the Hammers themselves, and I am going to go for a 2-1 victory to West Ham in this one. Next up, we've got the tea time kick-off, 5:30 between Watford and Chelsea. Watford currently bottom of the table. Awful. Haven't won all season. However, this is interesting. They haven't actually lost at home since August. They've been gaining some 0-0 draws, etc. So I think they are going to make it difficult for Chelsea. Chelsea have been scoring lots of goals recently, winning away, winning at home. I think they're on a 4 game winning streak at the moment. I think they're going to increase that to 5 league games as well, and I'm going to go for a narrow 2-1 victory to Chelsea in this one, but I think Watford are going to make it difficult for the Blues.
Yeah, I can't. No, they're not going to make it difficult at all, I don't think, especially with the way they've been playing. I mean, they've been getting draws, but Bournemouth haven't been at their best really, and if you look at the other teams they've been playing, then they've done alright to get the draws, but they should be winning games and scoring goals. I think they've only scored something ridiculous, like 5 goals this season. Like, you've got to score goals, Watford. What happened to last season when you were putting 5 against Cardiff? What's happened, honestly? But yeah, I can fully expect Chelsea to win this one. Probably Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, the young guns there at Chelsea, really flying high at the moment. Frank Lampard really knows how to use the kids well, and I can see this one being at 2-0 to Chelsea.
I just speaking there, then Nathan, Arsenal have just equalised, so it's Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1 at the moment.
I believe Torreira scored, but believe it or not, Arsenal's goal came by a Mustafi own goal. I mean the way that Mustafi's been playing for like the last season and a half, even the Penn reserve team wouldn't even take him, and they're bottom of the Welsh Premier League.
Okay, let's move on, I think.
Yeah, let's move on. Moving on to the Sunday kickoffs. At 2 o'clock, we got Palace Leicester on Sky. Now, Palace 2-2 at Arsenal. Very lucky and extremely lucky and played very well, believe it or not, to come back to draw 2-2 at the Emirates, which is very difficult for any team to do, really. Coming up against the Leicester side, who absolutely ruined Southampton, as we mentioned earlier. But likes of Maddison, Vardy, Tielemans, all the stars of Leicester are just going to be way too powerful for Crystal Palace in this one. Palace traditionally not as good at home than they are away, and Leicester, 9-0 away. That's all I can say. So 2-1 to the Foxes.
Yeah, I don't think Crystal Palace have been given the credit that they deserve this season. They are in 6th position at the moment, above the likes of Manchester United
and Tottenham as well,
and Tottenham, who down in 11th. But yeah, Palace last weekend slightly fortuitous that they did end up drawing with Arsenal. Leicester City, we've already said, it's been well documented, their victory over Southampton. I think Leicester will go away and win, but Palace will make it difficult for them, they have almost every single team that they have played this season. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to the Foxes, like you in this one. Vardy's on fire since Brenda's come in to Leicester. Vardy has taken it to another level, you could say, this season.
Because Brendan knows how to use Vardy properly, whereas when he was under Puel, he was just kind of isolated, didn't know how to use him, didn't know how. Just didn't know how to get him to overlap past the defenders and just run with the pace he has.
But you've got the likes of Tielemans now and Maddison,
Pereira, Jose Perez has helped him out a lot as well. Of course, scoring a hat-trick against Southampton last week.
Well, there was a double hat-trick in that.
Double hat-trick
in that game, wasn't there? So, so I'm going for 1-2 in that match. The final game of the weekend is Everton against Spurs. Now, Everton won last night at home, beating Watford 2-0 in the Carabao Cup. Spurs, I don't think they've won away since January. I believe now. I don't think they're going to win in this one either. I think Everton, maybe they won't win, but Spurs are going to find it very difficult up there at Goodison Park. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline in this one. Richarlison's starting to find a little bit of form in that. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Well, even though Everton are starting to pick things up, I just can't see him improving at all. I think Marco Silva really needs to go now. Yes, I mean, even losing to Brighton, that, especially where Brighton are at the moment and how people didn't expect them to do well, I think Everton definitely need a new manager, and I'd probably go out and say get David Moyes back in, who really projected you up into the top half of the table. But Spurs haven't been particularly good either, 11th position, but I actually think they're going to win away for the first time since January at Goodison, mainly because of how badly Everton have been playing recently. I think it's going to be a solid 2-0 victory to Spurs.
Excellent.
I think they're going to start to turn it around now.
Excellent. So that concludes our predictions for week 11 of this 2019-2020 Premier League season. As usual, I'm going to leave a template of these fixtures in the description. All you need to do to play along is copy and paste them into your comments. And like Andrew Vale last week, who did very well, you could get a shout out in the next video if you are the top scorer. Also, on Friday evening, I'm going to be announcing who's going to be representing the viewers in this week's little competition. So make sure you get your predictions in at the earliest opportunity. Try and get them in by Friday evening. But for now, Nathan, before we go, is there anything you'd like to add?
Subscribe to my channel, link in description below.
And will we be...
There will indeed be a vlog out this weekend.
Excellent. And you'll be vlogging from the Cardiff City Stadium?
Yes, against Birmingham City. Hopefully it'll be but much better than the shambles and the disarray of the refereeing that we put up with last week.
But we won't mention that for now.
We won't mention that for now. Wait until Sunday.
Okay, excellent. But for now, guys, we'll bid you farewell and we'll see you in the next video.
Cheers, guys. What was that?